just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. We got some breaking stories, some stuff we got to jump into. Appreciate all y'all for being on today, this evening. You know what I mean? I told you guys I would be on today, this evening, to talk about this story. Unfortunately, it is a story that does not have a happy ending. It does not have a happy ending at all. And this one is just, like I said, just terrible. A very, very sad story. And we're going to jump into it very, very quickly and very, very soon because I can't be on for a long time, but we're here for an informative time. Let's just say that. Okay? So we got to jump into the news. But before we jump into everything, please do me the small favor and hit that like button down below. Crush it. Destroy it. Okay? Do me that favor. For all y'all who are starting to walk in and come in onto this story, because like I said, we got a lot of background story to get to the news, the breaking news that just has happened about 4 hours ago or so. So do me a favor, hit that like button down below. It'd be greatly appreciated. Sorry, these ear things are just driving me crazy. Okay. And of course, do not forget to crush that subscribe button, all right? Hit that subscribe button, y'all. We're almost halfway through the 49s. We're almost there. So if you haven't done it yet and you've been consuming the show, watching the show a lot, please do me the small favor. Destroy, nuke, hit that subscribe button and be a part of the Pascal Show family. It'd be greatly appreciated, okay? But, you know, we got to get into the news. Like I said, I'm not on for a very long time, but we're here for a very informative time, okay? And we got to jump into this, guys. There is a story that's been brewing for a while now, over the past week, revolving around the missing, the case of a missing person. This young Black woman by the name of Kathleen Moore. She is now missing, or she has been missing. Like I said, this story, if you're not reading the title down below, has kind of a sad ending to this whole case. But we got to do a little bit of a background story with all this and kind of so that we all kind of understand what the story is and all that. Because like I said, it is something that I've been looking at for a while. I've been looking at this story for a minute now. And I've been sitting there going, okay, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to get to this story. I'm going to break the story. I want to break this story to the fam and on the channel and talk about it with everybody. But then, you know, school shootings happen. Other big stories pop off. And then next thing you know, time gets the best of me. And I didn't have time to get to a chance to cover this story. And I saw a lot of other YouTube channels cover this story as well, just basically saying, where is Kathleen Moore? And the thing is yeah, I think that's a main thing that we're all wondering. Where the hell was she, right? Well, obviously that question has been answered today. She has been found. We are going to get to that story. We are going to get to that piece here in just a moment. But, you know, of course, I wanted to give a chance to show you guys who Kathleen Moore was. 34-year-old young Black woman, was in a, from my understanding, not the greatest relationship in the world. And of course, now she has been found. And I have, of course, information here. But of course, we got to jump back just a tad bit to kind of understand where this started, what was going on, who Kathleen Moore is, who Colin Knapp is, and all that. So I figured if you guys can bless me with a little bit of this time, because I know I didn't get a chance to do any coverage of this, I kind of wanted to get a chance to cover it now. And then, of course, break the story with the press conference and all that. You know, everything that led up to this, to the terrible news that has happened now. She has been found. Her body has been found. She has been murdered. It is being ruled as a murder. It is being ruled as a homicide. And there is somebody who has been arrested and is behind bars right now for said crime that was committed against this young woman. So, of course, I wanted to get a chance to go back a little bit and then go to present day. So, before we jump into all of that, I think what's helpful is these news clips get really quickly to the point on everything, and they help summarize what I would want to cover instead of reading all these different news articles and all that stuff. We're going to go into some of these video clips, these news clips from local news stations and whatnot. And like I said, I'm going to say this now. May she rest in peace. I'm glad that her body has been found. I hate to, spoiler alert or anything. Like I said, if you're not reading the title down below, then I don't know what to tell you. But at the same time, I am happy that her body has been found. And I'm hoping that we get swift justice for this young woman. The boyfriend has been arrested. We're going to get into details about what his charges are, which I don't know if I entirely agree with it. I think he should be getting harsher charges, but we're going to get into it. I guarantee you that. So let's take a look at this one clip. This is kind of a background story. I got a couple videos like this, so let's get into it.
To get to on this busy Friday night, the disappearance of a Largo woman now appears to be focused at a home in Newport Richey.
And that's where Pascal County detectives are right now, and they've been there all day long looking for evidence. So ABC Action News reporter Eric Waxler live on scene with what we're learning at this hour. Eric?
Paul, the home behind me is where Kathleen Moore's boyfriend lives. The two were last seen together on Sunday, and Kathleen Moore has not been seen since. Investigators have been searching this home all day today. They have also been looking at a nearby landfill. The 34-year-old did not show up for work on Monday, and her cell phone was found in a dumpster. Now the sheriff's office has been set up at this home much of the day. They haven't told us anything about why they are here, what they might have found already, and we don't know if anyone was inside the house at any point, but I'm told that the landscaping truck parked on the front lawn does belong to Kathleen's boyfriend. The forensics unit showed up here this afternoon. Neighbors say they did hear the deputies earlier today yelling, trying to see if someone was inside. I talked today with one of Kathleen's friends who says there are a lot of people who care about her and want to find her.
When I woke up Monday morning and I knew she had to be at school and work, and she wasn't there to get her car, and my messages still hadn't delivered that I sent her, and her phone was off, I knew something was wrong that second. And I even mentioned it to a couple people, and they were like, oh no, she'll be here, she'll show up. And I said, this is the feeling that I have is different. There's something is not right.
Yeah, obviously a lot of concern. Right now, friends and family are actually gathering at a restaurant in Largo where Kathleen worked at a bartender. They're just hoping to find out some good news at some point, and we will let you know as soon as we find out any updates from the Pasco Sheriff's Office. Live.
Now, obviously, there is more information here because, of course, this has been an ongoing investigation. Of course, without the hard work of local law enforcement and whatnot, and the people that have been on the internet doing their due diligence and trying to help, I don't think that they would have been able to come up and find find who the person was, and of course, make the decision to throw this particular person, the boyfriend, behind bars right now. So I give them mad props for doing what they needed to do. Now, of course, there's more information because obviously this has been an ongoing developing story, and it's just it has been a really tough one, for a lot of people. People are really very upset about this whole situation, understandably, right? But now they said that they talked to her, then the friends had talked to her, and then suddenly she just kind of went off the radar, right? Then her cell phone was found in a dumpster, in a Walgreens dumpster by a homeless man nearby Colin Knapp's home. Now, there's obviously more and more information that's come out since then, which is, like I said, just getting crazier and crazier. And I'm going to show you guys a few more things here as well, Because like I said, there's a lot of stuff to unfold that leads up to how they figured everything out, right? So let's take a look at this one here.
Kathleen Moore was last seen Sunday night. Just to give you an idea of how many people are worried about her right now, since I started looking into this case, I've nearly received more than I can count of the number of friends who've reached out to me on social media, by email and text messages, each and every one of them telling me how much they love her and that they need her home. Tonight on The Missing, what happened to Kathleen? Candles flicker near a picture of Kathleen Moore as her friends and coworkers at Whiskey Wings in St. Pete pray for her safe return.
Monday night is when I started reaching out to people like, this is not like her.
Nikki Whalen has been friends with Kathleen since they were 11 years old, a 20-year-long friendship. They hung out all day Sunday, barbecuing in the day, then hitting a beach bar that night. Around 11:30, Kathleen left Nikki's Largo home with her on-again, off-again boyfriend, saying she was going to his home in Newport Richey, telling Nikki she would pick up her car in the morning.
I woke up Monday morning to get ready for work myself and realized that she wasn't here yet, or had called me to like say, hey, I'm running late or whatever. That's when I was like, something's not right. And immediately called her phone and it went straight to voicemail.
The 34-year-old didn't show up for work or school. Her friends say that's not like her. So they called the Pasco County Sheriff's Office Monday night, who immediately searched the area.
I appreciate you so much turning her phone in.
Her cell phone was later found in a dumpster in Newport Richey by this man who says he's homeless. Investigators using it and questioning the last people who saw her, hoping to find Kathleen.
Somebody knows where she is or somebody knows what happened. There's more to the story.
And we reached out to her boyfriend, but have not heard back yet.
What else is new? Like I said, when you reach out to the loved ones or the last person that supposedly was with said person that went missing and they don't want to answer, they don't respond. Now, I get it. Like sometimes people get bombarded with DMs and phone calls and all that stuff, right? I get that piece, right? But at the same time, though, when you got everybody and their mama going, where is our loved one, Kathleen? And you were the last one to be seen with this person, and you don't answer anybody's questions, to me, it looks like a dead giveaway that this man had something to do with this. That's right, King Timma. Red flags all bloody day long. Okay? Dead giveaway. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Instantly, if you cannot, and I feel so bad for this reporter putting it on freeze frame like that on her face. But anyway, like that. But here it is. Dead giveaway. She goes to hang out with her boyfriend. After kicking it, she says, hey, I'm going to come back and get my car. She goes and stays with him, but she doesn't show up to pick up her car. Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway, guys. Instantly, him guilty. Him guilty. Instantly. Instantly, he should be a person of interest. Instantly, he should be brought in for hard questioning, hard interrogation. Just saying. As soon as that person's going, I ain't going to say it's the Brian Laundrie effect. Or sorry, it's the laundry effect. It should be named that. Something. The laundry approach, the laundry whatever, right? It should be called that nowadays, where they just don't say nothing. Because it's clear that this person, Colin Knapp, did the wrong thing, did something, and it was not right. As soon as she didn't come back to get the car and she wasn't picking up the phone calls or anything of that sort, instantly you're going, foul play is afoot. Clearly. Instantly. You got one of her best friends hitting her up, last seen with her, kicking it with her, having a few drinks, having a good old time, whatever. saying, hey, I'll pick it up tomorrow. I'm going to go hang out with, I'm going to go stay with my boyfriend for the night. You're the last person to go. You're the last words that friend heard her say. You're the last name. You're the last known person that was hanging out with her. And yet you do exactly, Jessica Moon, you do the dirty laundry effect where you just don't say anything. You stay quiet. And now we have the ultimate result, the devastating ultimate result of this young woman no longer here. This woman murdered. Straight up. Devastating. And heartbreaking news. So, I got some more. Because, obviously, he was a person of interest, but it wasn't instant, right? He didn't turn into a person of interest right off the bat. They just knew that the last person that she was with was him, and that's it. They didn't say anything else after that. Okay? So let's go. We got something from WFLA. There's quite a bit in here. I'm not going to play all of this because it's about an hour long, but you'll see. You'll hear from their own mouths what's going on here as well. And where she was found, where her remains were found, you'll hear a little bit later, but contents that were her own belongings and all that were later on found. Let's take a listen.
We're seeing from Eagle currently live over the landfill in Pasco County. Now, forensics units with the Pasco County Sheriff's Office have recently pulled up at the scene. WFLA News Channel 8 confirming that the Sheriff's Office is here for a possible connection to the disappearance of missing woman Kathleen Moore, 34 years old, who hasn't been seen in about 5 days. Again, we're going to get into her story, but you're looking here live from Eagle 8 HD as a forensics unit I don't know if is pulling away here or driving deeper into the Pasco County landfill. They have been here for some time. Eagle just getting here to the scene moments ago. So let's get into the story of Kathleen Moore. Last seen November. Let's bring up her pictures here. Last seen November 29th, 34 years old, and friends with Jessica Brummett. That you see there on the right side of your screen. Jessica sending us these photos. We'll stay here live with you on Eagle 8 HD. We're losing sunlight here and on the Gulf Coast side of Florida, but we'll stay here with you. There's Kathleen Moore on the right side of your screen. Pictures again sent in by Jessica Brummett. Considers her a best friend, sisters, if you will, and gave us permission to share these photos with our audience. Kathleen had been living in Clearwater, Florida. She was last seen by Jessica Brummett last Thursday for Thanksgiving at her parents' home, Jessica Brummett's parents' home. You saw the parents there in a previous photo in Newport Richey. The parents very close with Kathleen as well. Brummett said that she messaged with Kathleen on Sunday morning on Facebook Messenger. That's the last time that they had any communication with one another. Brummett said that Kathleen, this is all according to WFLA News Channel 8's Justin Shecker, who's going to be joining us momentarily with the latest from the boyfriend's home. We'll have more on that in a second. But Brummett said that Kathleen, right side of your screen, was at a friend's home in Largo, left her car there, and then took an Uber to see her boyfriend in Newport Richey. Now, the Pasco County Sheriff's Office says that she was last seen around 1 a.m. on Carmel Avenue on November 29th. So early that morning, literally last seen that night of November 28th going into November 29th. Now, according to Brummett, Kathleen got into an argument with her boyfriend on Sunday night and was trying to leave the scene of that argument with her boyfriend. She had FaceTime with a friend saying that she was waiting for an Uber to leave the scene of that confrontation with her boyfriend, according to Jessica Brummett. Now, the Pasco County Sheriff's Office has detectives on scene right now connected to her missing person case at the boyfriend's home in Newport Richey. That's where Justin Shecker is. We're going to have a live report coming up from Justin here momentarily as soon as we're able to get him live on WFLA Now.
So there was an argument Obviously, there was some sort of tension between the two lovers, and something obviously transpired. And this is why I say more than ever, all the time, if there's ever, this is what I can't stress enough how important it is for any person, man or woman, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you feel, fellas, if you're in a relationship that is volatile, that is extremely toxic, I urge you, doesn't matter what sex you are, doesn't matter at all. But if it ever turns into something that is toxic, please speak up. Please talk to your friends. Please speak to somebody, to a professional, something like that. Seek refuge from your friends, from professionals, counselors, anything. What breaks my heart is how there are so many warning signs that keep popping up for a lot of people, right? And suddenly, because nobody says anything, right? That person ends up either staying in that volatile relationship for decades, for years and years, or they end up dead. They're either battered and bruised for however long they stay in that relationship, or something like this happens. A Kathleen Moore situation happens. So I cannot stress enough how important it is to speak up if you are in a terrible, terrible relationship, if there's any type of violence, if violence is introduced into the relationship. I urge you to speak to somebody, reach out to your friends and family. There's no shame in it. And I say this on both sides of the spectrum because here's the thing. There are dudes out here that are in relationships that are extremely violent, and the violence is coming from the girl too. But the guy won't say anything because he doesn't want to be emasculated. Oh, it's emasculating that he's getting beat up by his girlfriend or his, whatever. But here it is. It happens on both sides of the spectrum. Both sides of the fence. If you are in a volatile relationship, I urge you to get out as soon or as quickly as you can. Because it could turn worse. It could turn into something like this.
For those just joining us, who Jessica Brumman is in relation to Kathleen Moore. Kathleen Moore.
Dang. Gotta love that stuff. Boom.
On the right side of your screen, folks. And there's Jessica. There's the photo of the four of them. There's Jessica Brumman all the way on the right. Can you explain their connection?
So Jessica basically says Kathleen is like a sister to her, that they met growing up in the same apartment complex when they were 11 years old. So this is 23 years ago. They're both 34-year-olds now. And really, her family's almost been like a second family to Kathleen. You can see that photo, how they spent Thanksgiving together. So they're just very tight, close-knit friends, almost like sisters. And she's one of many friends who've been posting on Facebook, on social media the past few days, trying to share Kathleen's photo, trying to get the word out to try to help the sheriff's office try to find her and bring her home safe.
Now, we now have a portion of that interview that I believe, Justin, that was an interview that you did with Jessica Brumman. So we're about to hear from Jessica Brumman. What do you have to say? This is now the interview, so I'd like for you just to be able to introduce it.
You'll see just how emotional she is with each passing day. She's becoming more worried about the well-being of her close friend. Take a listen now.
Trying to stay strong for my family, and mentally, it's been the hardest thing. And when I say hard, it's hard because I want to have faith and hope that she comes home so I can hear her infectious laughter and hug her and let her know that I love her. Hard because we're now at 5 days.
It's really hard listening to that.
You could tell like how much, obviously she was loved. She was obviously loved by a lot of people. There's a lot of people out here that were out there trying to find her, putting up flyers, fighting for her, getting this story out here so that people were really knowing about this, getting it out there on the twits and on the Twitters, you know what I mean, on social medias, and letting people know, hey, Kathleen Moore is missing and we're looking for our friend. Where the hell is she, right? Clearly, she was missed. Clearly, she had a lot of people that cared for her, that were worried about her, that wanted to make sure that she's okay, that they wanted to bring her home.
How long do you realistically have here on stream with us?
Probably hang for about another 3 to 5 minutes, JB.
All right, let's do it. Another 5 minutes,
and
and let's take this one from Chelsea Loper joining us, and Chelsea asking hashtag. Oh, we have a. Well, let's go.
Wow. Florida, y'all. Florida.
Justin, was that a neighbor, and what did he have to say?
I think it was just a neighbor who does not like the fact that his street is roped off right now. So just a neighbor on a motorcycle leaving the area. Nothing I believe to be related to this case, JB.
Of course not.
All right, let's get to one more time, and that's welcome to live streaming, folks. You know.
So obviously they are still surrounding the house of, at this time, and in this particular video, they're surrounding the Knapp family, the Knapp home, Colin Knapp's home. Of course, they're investigating and do whatever they need to do. But welcome to Florida, by the way. Welcome to Florida. So we got some more information. Like I said, this is all background stuff. We're just leading up to the moment, of course, right?
Pasco County.
Real quick, before we go into this, obviously, as you saw, law enforcement went to the landfill to look at some items, look through trash. And so this is them talking about what they found in the trash that they were rummaging through.
The one thing that our detectives talk about in this case is the amount of family that have reached out, the amount of loved ones that have reached out. You know, whether it was Kathleen's nursing school friends, people that she works with, the amount of love that they were showing trying to find her. So if there's one thing that I can tell the family is that Kathleen was absolutely loved by this community. This is also a sad reminder that domestic violence occurs in every community. And here in Pasco County, we have Sunrise Domestic Violence Shelter. So if there's anybody in a situation that violence is going on in their relationship, please reach out to Sunrise. There is help. There are people that want to help you. Whether call 911, get the sheriff's office, we will get you in touch with Sunrise. We need the community's assistance right now because we are looking for the body of Kathleen. We need any tips we can get, and I will get further in that information. But the other part is, which I know a lot of people have figured out there's an arrest. The Pasco Sheriff's Office, along with the State Attorney's Office, I want to thank Bruce Bartlett for his leadership there. We've arrested Colin Scott Knapp with second-degree murder.
Second-degree murder. Second, not first, but second-degree murder. He has been brought in for second-degree murder. I wonder why.
So a lot of the information I have is still preliminary. This is still an ongoing investigation. Sergeant Ross is here. He leads up the major crimes unit. There are some things we can answer. There are some things that we cannot answer. And there's some things that we shouldn't answer. And right now, we're trying to get resolution. We wish that Colin would provide us the information of where Kathleen is.
He's not even cooperating. At the time of this, press briefing, okay, he's been brought in and he's not even cooperating. What does that say to you, y'all? He's not even cooperating. And yet he's getting second-degree murder. What? Now, obviously, they haven't found the body as of yet during this particular press conference. But he is, he's not even cooperating, and he's not even getting first degree murder. Clearly, this man did this heinous crime, clearly with his own bare hands, and yet he's getting second degree murder, and he's not even cooperating. What?
And we delayed this press conference a little bit because we just arrested him this afternoon. We were hoping he was going to provide information during his interview. As one of our detectives described, he was very cold. Even when we were begging with him to tell us where her body is, he wouldn't give us that information.
Really? So here it is. You got a dude that got brought in. They found items of clothes that had lots of blood found on those clothes. So much that they were saying that the blood, there was so much blood that there is no way that this young woman would still be alive right now. So they're ruling it as a homicide. They bring him in for questioning, and this dude don't even want to help out in giving out information, let alone letting them know where the body is. And yet he still got second degree. I mean, bruh.
The other reason we can't talk about some things right now is because we have to find justice for Kathleen and for her family. There are things only the Pasco Sheriff's Office knows, the State Attorney's Office knows, and Colin Knapp knows. If we release that information, we can hinder the investigation, we can hinder prosecution, and we can hinder justice in this case.
Hamburger.
I want to thank Bruce Bartlett and the State Attorney's Office. They've been great partners in this. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office and FDOE, their biology lab, worked all weekend long to assist us in this investigation. So this is the time of the events that we have so far. On November 28th,
Here we go.
between 10 p.m. and 11:30 p.m., Kathleen and Colin left Largo after a night of socializing, hanging out with friends at multiple bars in Largo and Indian Rocks Beach. Kathleen and Colin have been arguing at some of these bars.
Son of a gun. I hate when they do that.
In his Cadillac arrived around 12:30 a.m. the next morning. So it's the same night, just going past midnight. So it's 12:30 a.m. on November 29th at the 7-Eleven at Carmel Avenue and Seven Springs Boulevard in Pasco County. Colin buys cigarettes, and he states that Kathleen was in the vehicle. Well, we looked at the tapes, and unfortunately, the tapes aren't very clear. So we aren't 100% sure if she was in the vehicle or not in the vehicle. And anybody who's seen some surveillance tapes, it's very hard to find out exactly where that person is. But we're still trying to look for more information on that part. Colin told us that they go to the Carmel Avenue, his residence on Carmel Avenue, where they have another argument. At this point, Colin claims that Kathleen left with her backpack and just left the residence. There is no evidence that we have right now that shows that she left that residence. So Colin then, about an hour later, before decides to go to his job, which is at Harold Seltzer Steakhouse in Port Richey. He's a kitchen manager there, and he wanted to complete a meat inventory order around 1:30 a.m. I also want to thank Harold Seltzer's restaurant. They've done a very good job cooperating with us, providing us information, so I want to thank them very much for being a partner in this case. Kathleen, she went missing early Monday morning. We cannot find any evidence after the fact that he told us she was at his house, from that moment on. She was originally reported missing out of Pinellas County. Pinellas County got that case early Tuesday morning. Pinellas County started running with that right away. Then later on in the afternoon, they realized she was last missing in Pasco County. That's when Pasco County picks up the case. The preceding days after that early Monday morning, when everybody lost track of her, nobody's seen her. Nobody saw her at school, nobody saw her at work. She was supposedly very active on social media. No accounts, nothing was being seen on social media. Pinellas County then pinged her phone, and there was a man who had found her phone at the Walgreens. He actually tells us that he dumpster dives, and he found that there at the Seven Springs Boulevard and Little Road. So we continue to follow up information there. So we found out through the investigation that Colin had some garments of clothes that he had taken to work at Harold Seltzer's. He then puts it in the dumpster there. We find out in the investigation, our detectives meet up with the waste management people, asked to get all that stuff that's in the dumpster brought to a landfill.
Okay. So Colin Knapp does this hideous crime. Okay. Allegedly. We have to say allegedly, unfortunately, but we already know what we feel, right? Okay. But literally takes the bloody clothing, this clothing that they're talking about, and he takes it to his work because he's a kitchen manager at a local restaurant. He takes those clothes and he throws them into the dumpster of his workplace. I mean, let me just say this. How to Get Away with Murder is not this guy. This guy is not Annalise Keating at all. Okay? He is not Annalise Keating at all. He takes the bloody clothing and he takes it and dumps it into a dumpster in the dumpster of his job. I'm not kidding. I mean, if you're really trying to get away with this, right? If you're really trying to not do something like this and get caught, right, from doing a heinous crime like muerte, you don't take the bloody clothes that you of the victim and put it in the dumpster outside of your workplace, especially when you are suspect numero uno. But this is exactly what he did. I mean, you know, you look at the guy. I mean, I don't know if he looks like this right now or if he looks like something else, but he, you know, maybe he's burned too many brain cells up there. Maybe it's drugs. I don't know what it is, but clearly this man thought that this would be brilliant. After I do this terrible, heinous crime, I'm going to take these bloody clothes of my girlfriend that I just allegedly killed, and I'm going to dump it into the dumpster of my workplace. When you know the feds and everybody, you know when 5-0 is watching and the streets is watching. And yet he goes and he dumps it into the dumpster there, thinking that everything's going to be just fine. Then, of course, he discards her cell phone in a Walgreens dumpster near his home too. I mean, this man is just dumb. All signs, all roads, breadcrumbs, everything is pointing towards he done did it, clearly.
And they go through that. I can't tell you the dedication of the women and men in that unit, of the entire Pasco Sheriff's Office, but let me just emphasize in that unit right now. They were digging through the dirt. They were digging through all that mess. Think about a restaurant dumpster. They were going through it. Day in and day out. They were constantly going through it. There are women and men in that unit that have barely slept in the past 6 days. They have a few hours of sleep. That's how dedicated they are. We've had canines out there searching. We've had drones out searching. We've had every tool possible. We do everything. When somebody goes missing, we will put every resource out there to find them. As they were going through that search, they find his article of clothing and they find bloodstains on it. We send those bloodstains to the FDLE. Again, I thank the FDLE biology lab. They did a phenomenal job. They worked relentlessly. They matched those blood to Kathleen. So we went back to State Attorney Bruce Bartlett's office, who got a judge to sign off on a second-degree homicide warrant for Colin Knapp.
So blood was found on the clothing. Blood was found on the clothing that matched Kathleen Moore. So, of course, they filed a second-degree murder charge to try to get this man, of course, to detain this man, this animal, allegedly, of course. to bring him in because, from my understanding, there's so much blood. There's so much blood that there's no way that this young woman would have survived.
Which we immediately served this afternoon. Colin Knapp, his date of birth is 6/1991. He has 10 previous felony arrests and 9 misdemeanor arrests since 2004. Some included ag assault, ag battery, and domestic violence. In that case, Kathleen was not involved. Again,
a man with a history of violence. Let me just throw that out there. He just said all those, he just listed a couple of things. This man has a history of violence. So God knows what kind of relationship they had behind closed doors. They were on again, off again. I wonder why they were on again, off again.
our hearts and prayers pour out to the family and friends of Kathleen Moore. I know you are all searching for a better resolution, and we all were. But unfortunately, this is what we have. And so I ask God to look over all of us and to look over you, because I know you're looking for answers. I know right now you are in awful pain, and may God bless you during this time, and know that this sheriff's office is going to continue to work hard with Bruce Bartlett and the state attorney's office to ensure that justice is done in this case. And I know it won't bring her back, but at the same time, know how much she was loved by so many people in this community. And if that's the one thing that our legacy is how much we are loved by others, she has a legacy that's greater than so many of us will ever have.
Nicely said. I agree. I mean, it's still heartbreaking, but the fact that everybody pulled out all the stops and did everything they could to find her says a lot about the people, says a lot about her too, says that she was a good person. And there was a lot of people that really did love her, and that her life is just as important as anyone else's. Shout out to law enforcement for doing their due diligence and getting this thing done. You know, finding this young woman, which we are going to get here in a second, and it's devastating. But none of this would have happened. None of this would have been possible if it wasn't for the energy of law enforcement and the family and friends and other people who just volunteered their time to try to find this young woman.
Again, for the fact that domestic violence occurs in every community, if you're in a domestic violence relationship, please get help.
Facts.
There are people that want to help you.
Hard facts.
You don't want it ending like this. For Colin Knapp, who's in this facility right now, know that there is a God. Know that he knows all the answers. And right now you have an opportunity to do something positive when you had done so much evil. Please share with us right now where Kathleen is, so we can do something for the family. We can give them some type of resolution.
Let me ask you guys this. Before I get to how they found her and all that, her body, question for you. Question to the whole fam, okay, in the chat. Do you think he cooperated? Do you think he tried to help out and give them the actual location of where he discarded her body? Just going to ask you guys that. Just keep it. Answer in the comments. Yes, no, whatever. But I'd like to know what your thoughts are on this one. Real talk.
The other one is, anybody out there with any information, please, this is the location if you have a tip, if you have any information.
Okay, so we already know this stuff because obviously they don't need any more information or any tips. I mean, unless there's some more information, like maybe an eyewitness account of some sort to obviously bring justice to this situation, bring this man to justice. Maybe the charges are going to upgrade to, say, first-degree murder. We don't know as of yet. I haven't heard anything as of yet. But this is what we have from yesterday's breaking story, right? Lots of blood found on the clothing of what used to be Kathleen Moore's clothing, okay? They said that there was so much blood on those clothes that there's no way that a human being would have survived losing that amount of blood, okay? So that's important to hear that information, okay? Now, there is more information here. Obviously, Colin Knapp was brought in. He was arrested. He was charged with second-degree murder. Second degree. Not first, second. Still don't know why. But we don't know if they're going to, after they do their autopsy and find out, I'm sure there's going to be some gruesome details on how she was taken care of, how she was discarded, and all that. But we got to get into this article here because we need to see it. We need to talk about this. Like I said, the question is, how was this young woman found? Who found her? Was it 5-0? Was it help from Colin Knapp? Or no? Let's find out. Kathleen Moore's update. Body found in Pascal County, identified as missing woman. Now, they had found a body and they did not identify it until a little bit later today, or a few hours ago as we speak. But here it is, okay? This is the information that I'm sure everybody's wondering. How the hell how was her body found? What is going on here, right? Kathleen Moore's body was found in a wooded area of Newport Richey on Tuesday, the Pasco County Sheriff's Office confirmed. According to the Sheriff's Office, the decomposing body was found by somebody walking in Carmel Avenue area around 11:30 a.m. was positively identified as Moore based on her tattoos. So, not even her face, her tattoos. That's how her body was identified, through her tattoos. So think about that. Why do you think her body was identified through her tattoos? Now, God knows how long she's been out there. Of course, body was found earlier today, literally today. It's the 7th. She's been missing for a while. So she's been outside. Nature could have done could have played a toll on her, or, which is what I'm leaning towards, is what I'm leaning on. He disfigured her face. That whatever happened between them, there was an altercation that went down, and there was severe blunt force trauma to the face. That's what I think. That's what I think. You're going to automatically identify the body from tattoos. Dead giveaway. There was some serious trauma to the face. Sorry for the gruesome details, but that's most definitely what I think. The area where the body was found was the last known location, 34-year-old Moore, who was reported missing last week. So this is the last known location. Okay? The missing persons investigation became a homicide investigation on Monday night when her boyfriend, Colin Knapp, was arrested. Now, here's the very interesting part of it all. She was about 50 yards northeast of Colin Knapp's home. So she wasn't very far from his crib, y'all. Obviously, the trauma or whatever, the incident, I'm thinking, happened inside of his home. Maybe through a crime of passion. He didn't realize what he had done. He realized that she's not responding, that she is dead. He freaks out. He drags her 50 yards northeast of his own home. It was a very heavily brushed area. She was actually covered. You can almost describe she was definitely covered on purpose to make sure nobody could come upon her. So he did everything he could to cover her up. So they say the break in the case on Tuesday came from the Pasco County community working together with the sheriff's office. Shout out to the Pasco County community for putting out their own time, dedicating their tirelessly going out there, dedicating their time to go out there and just scour land, trying to find this young woman. Last night we put out a plea for help, and they did. At 11:30 this morning, we got the call because citizens were out there helping us. Shout out to the people out there of Pasco County. Real talk. They said, hey, we need some more people. We need more people looking for this young woman's body. And guess what? They showed up, and they did show out. So shout out to all of them. Obviously, as we already know, Moore's body had not been found when Knapp was actually arrested on Monday, but deputies noted that the blood evidence found in a county landfill was enough to arrest Knapp. A judge on Tuesday ordered he be held without bond, thank God, and said new developments in the case made it clear it's a murder. So, Nako on Tuesday promised to get justice for Moore. I wish to God we can bring her back. She's with God now. She's with the angels. We pray for her. We pray for her family right now because they are going through so much, the sheriff said. But with that, we will bring her justice, and we will bring her family justice. The sheriff also had a message for anyone experiencing domestic violence. Maybe more sacrifices she went through is to save somebody else. If this can save you because you're in a horrible domestic violence relationship, get out of it. Because if there's something positive that can come out of her death, it's that someone else will live. And this sheriff is a very decent speaker. I'm going to be real, okay? But like I said before, all these stories that we hear about toxic relationships that turn ugly, that turn vicious, that turn catastrophic, they're all tales that we should all be internalizing for ourselves. They are all lessons that we should be internalizing for ourselves. Because yes, like a Gabby Petito or a Kathleen Moore situation, they are just full-on warning signs for any other person that's in a toxic relationship or in a relationship that is extremely volatile. And I have to say it, and I'll repeat it again. It is more important than ever nowadays to speak up if you are in a violent relationship. If you are in a toxic relationship and you feel like you can't get away, you feel like you're stuck, you feel like you're lost and locked away, you feel like you can't get away, reach out to your friends. They will not show and shed judgment on you. They will open up their arms and bring you in. They will protect you. Hit up your family. Hit up those people that are around you that matter the most to you because they matter to you. You matter to them too. Reach out to them. We need to stop having these stories like Kathleen Moore happening. That there's these people, not just women, not only just women, both sides of the spectrum, that feel like they can't do any better. They feel like this is the best that they can do in love, in finding that right relationship. And I'm here to tell you, no, there is someone out there that's much better. There is someone out there that will love you unconditionally despite all of your flaws. In fact, they'll probably love your flaws even more and embrace them because that's what love is, right? Accepting a person, including their flaws, not knocking them down and making them feel like trash, beating them up, verbally and physically destroying that person, blow by blow or comment by comment, insult by insult. Kathleen Moore deserved better. All the Kathleen Moores of the world deserve better. And it upsets me because I feel like there's a lot of guys, a lot of people out here that feel that they know that their family, right, like either family members or friends of theirs, right, that are clearly in volatile relationships. They know it. Some families and friends know that they're in volatile relationships. And those people still don't do anything about it because they don't want to get into it. It's none of their business. No, it is your business. And if that person turns to you, and I'm speaking on the other side, not only just the person who speaks out, because some people do speak out, but the people that surround them don't want to get into that Jerry Springer problem. They're like, I don't want a Jerry Springer, Maury Povich-ish. I'm not here for the drama. No, get involved, because you could save another Kathleen Moore here. Instead of having a Kathleen Moore story happen where you go, where's my friends? Where's my friend at? What happened to her? When it's like, yo, she turned to you and you said nothing. And you did nothing. So I'm saying it on both sides of the fence, y'all. The person who's giving out the information, if you have the opportunity to speak on it to your friends, if you are in a volatile relationship, speak on it. Toxicity is terrible, and it does not make you transcend to a higher place. It does not make you a better person. It makes things worse. Next thing you know, you find yourself finding yourself going into vices, finding bad habits, because you're trying to cope with this volatile, toxic relationship that you've been submerged into. And that's the same thing on the other side. For those friends that are on the receiving end of this information, do not fear. Do not fret. Just because you're going, oh, I don't want to get in the middle of it. No, this is the time to get into the middle of it. I guarantee you, your friend will thank you later. She might hate you or they might hate you for a second. But wouldn't it be better for that person to be in a happier place? Finding the help that they rightfully deserve than for them to end up like a Kathleen Moore situation? Or somewhere in between that? And let me say this too. There are varying degrees of toxicity. Not all of them. There are varying degrees of toxicity. Not all of them are fist to face. Just saying that out loud. But I do believe that some of those varying degrees of toxicity can graduate to something volatile, to something violent. So speak up when you can. And listen when somebody speaks up. So, this young woman's body has been found 50 yards northeast of Colin Knapp's home. 50 yards, half of a football field, okay, away from his home. So clearly, he dragged this body out into the middle of this area. Partially, I guess, somewhat covered her. Didn't even bury her. He just covered her and went on his merry little way. Took her clothing with him and the cell phone that she had, her cell phone, and ran off. ran off with it, dumped the cell phone into a Walgreens nearby, near his home, and then dumped the clothing, the bloody clothing, in the dumpster of his workplace. So clearly this man is not the smartest, not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but still, thank God he was that dumb, because we would still be out here trying to find this young woman. So there it is, y'all. Not the greatest ending to a story. When I was thinking about covering this story earlier last week, actually over the weekend, I was planning on doing something and covering this story, and other things got in the way. I was really hoping that it was going to end up being like she's found, safe, so on and so forth, right? And it didn't end up that way. But that sheriff was not wrong. We need to use these unfortunate stories and turn them into lessons for ourselves, not only just for us personally, but us as human beings. It is extremely important to speak up. It is extremely important to talk to people when you are in dire straits. When you feel like you can't get anywhere, when you feel like you're lost, this is the time when you speak up. You make your problems known to your friends and family. I feel like more and more we are so quick to not say anything, and then we do something volatile. We do something unthinkable, right? You hear the stories about the Oxford High School shooting that just happened with Ethan Crumbley. Clearly this man, this young boy, had some serious issues. And yes, he was brought to justice, and he will be tried within the full extent of the law. He will be sentenced, and hopefully he will never see freedom ever again. But I feel like it's so important. My phone's losing its mind. I feel like it's so important for us to speak up, to talk more than ever nowadays. The world is getting crazy, y'all. And I'm not about to sit there and get all preacher, like, get on my soapbox and, mopping my brow, fire and brimstone. No, I'm not even going to do that. I'm not. But I feel like we're in such trying times right now that we need to start communicating more. We need to stop leaving things so bottled up, because we are seeing more and more now. Bad people are getting very successful at what they want to do. They're getting successful on doing some things to people. Successful, ladies and gentlemen. More than ever. And then what's crazy about it is that other people are seeing those horrid successes, and they're trying to copy those things. We need to start talking more, guys. We need to start speaking up. We need to stop worrying about other people's opinions and worrying if they're going to feel some type of way about whatever. So sad that you're in a toxic relationship and you're fearful for your life. It feels so bad for you. No, life is not an IG post. Life is not an Instagram post. Life is a lot more complicated than just a photo or a video that's 30 seconds long. We need to start speaking up and talking and speaking our truths and finding the right counseling, because mental health is a very serious thing, more than ever. And we really need to find the right people to talk to and the right people that are willing to listen. So like I said, speak up, speak up, speak up. And for everyone else that's on the receiving end of that information, listen. and be reactive. Anyway, guys, that is the show today. I appreciate everybody for being on. I appreciate all y'all. You guys are incredible. Like I said, I was only going to be on for a short time, but an informative time. I wanted to talk about this because you know what? I'm hearing all these stories over and over and over and over and over again, y'all, of these people just, oh my gosh, man. The amount of stories that just keep funneling out of these just heinous crimes that keep happening. And all they had to do was just say something or talk to the right person. And I'm not sitting here saying that Kathleen didn't try to speak to somebody, right? I'm not throwing any shade at Kathleen or her friends. A lot of people like to play things close to the chest, and that's okay too. But when it gets really volatile and your friend speaks up, you better be prepared. And you better listen. That's all I ask. Anyway, guys, y'all are amazing. I appreciate all y'all for being on. Saw a bunch of y'all on today. I appreciate that. Be sure to hit that like button down below if you feel what I'm saying. If you're feeling what I'm feeling, hit that like button down below. Send those likes all the way up before you head off. And of course, please hit that subscribe button, y'all. Just destroy it, nuke it. You know what I mean? Skagoosh. You know what I mean? Boom, napalm. Love the smell of napalm in the morning. You know what I mean? Apocalypse Now type ish. Nuke it. Okay? We're working our way. We're almost midway through the 49s. And I'm very excited about that. So please hit that subscribe button. Send those likes and the love all the way up. Y'all be positive out there. Y'all stay safe. Okay? Be good to every single one of y'all. Do something positive for each other, to your loved ones, for your loved ones and all that. Do something amazing. Okay, guys? But anyway, it's time to get going, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.